Hello, you worthless lolicons. Gao gao, tabito, yo. Not that I'm interested, but if you want, you can deign to tell me about your day. So how is everyone today? Not that I have any concern for any of you worthless humans. Let's see. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Alonzo. Thank you very much for tuning in. Wait, I'm supposed to mean, I mean, how dare you not be, how dare you not come after me? I'm supposed to be the very first one here, and you instead dare to come after me? How dare you? As you can see behind me, I have a cage full of humans who have misbehaved. So be sure to be on your very best behavior. Or else. I'm actually good. I'm hoping to have a special dinner tonight. Pizza and ice cream. I haven't had that in a long time. So, as you can see, today is a very special occasion. I've been told by a few, worthless humans that they have wanted a Sadistic stream. So, here we are. We are not in my bedroom. We are in a dungeon where it's dark and dank and there's no hope for any escape. As you can see by my friends right behind me. They may crawl and struggle and writhe to get free, but they'll never escape. Which is why you have to all behave. So today, I'm not going to be the usual nice Kumakko. I'm going to be the mean Kumakko. For some reason, I don't know who wanted that, but people wanted it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. How about you, Alonzo? How about you, Kevin? You said you're good? Oh, I'm glad you're all doing well. I mean, you should be groveling at my feet. You too, Elo. You should be groveling at my feet. I was just saying that if you misbehave, you're gonna go in the cage. Right there. With all the other people. Hit you? I haven't hit anyone yet. Why would I dirty my pristine hands by touching you? Why would I ruin a perfectly good pair of shoes by placing it anywhere near you? Have you ever thought about that? No. But today, in the spirit of the occasion, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite dark eroge, because I think it's suitable, not just for the mood, but I think I've been wanting to talk more about eroge on this channel, so this is a good opportunity. Let's see, only 3 of my loyal servants are here today, but that's okay. I don't mind. Whoever wants to come is welcome to be here, as long as you pay your appropriate dues. No need to say it. Of course there is a need to say it, because some people can't seem to follow directions. Oh, Elo, how are you today? Your orders are a command. That's always my command. So today, I'm going to be talking about, hold on a moment. I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite Black Psych games. I'm going to be talking about Gore Screaming Show and Mugen Kairo 2. Gore Screaming Show is a classic in the eroge community. At least when I first started playing eroge, Gore Screaming Show was a big classic. It was a very big deal. It had very good production values for its time. It had a moving background. It had all sorts of, so many paper dolls, so many character sprites. The BGM, off the charts. It was really a very, very, very good game. Fuck up after COVID? Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry you had COVID. That's horrible. And not the fun kind of horrible. Just the horrible kind. feel better, okay? You have to feel better if you are going to serve me in any capacity, alright? My servants have to be in full health. Or else I'm gonna smack you. Or whip you, or whatever. And next, we're going to be talking about Mugen Kairo 2. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mugen Kairo 2? Well, that's a sequel. Yes, it is a sequel. The first game is Mugen Kairo, of course. Mugen Kairo 2 follows the plotline of Taro, who is this orphan with no memories, who is taken in to this huge mansion by a bunch of older, dominant ladies. Most of them are older, some of them are younger. But basically he is their servant, so to speak. He helps with whatever their desires are. And of course they feed him a good diet, they give him a good home, a bed, all that sorts of things. But it's very much in the category for people who are masochists. It's a highly recommendable game. Yeah, do feel better, Hilo. I'm sorry you're suffering so much. Are you vaccinated? Please get vaccinated. After Mugen Kairo 2, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite clock-up games. Now, there are a lot of clock-up games. Euphoria, Maggot Base, Fraternity, Air Juan, Mijikui Mojikan no Ko. That's a Nitro Plus game, but had the same artist. But I'm going to be starting with Euphoria and Fraternity, I think. Fraternity is my favorite dark Edo game. One of my top favorites. The story is so good. It is so despairing and sad, and it really took a lot of courage to have such a dark ending. There is no happy ending here. The true ending is really rather dark. But personally, that's why I like about it. It really makes you feel for the characters and makes you want their struggles to be all the more triumphant in a happy ending. And that's not what you get out of this game. Extremely dark. If you have anxiety or any sort of can't handle any sort of gore, do not play any of these things. Personally, I love Frat Tonight. Amazing. 10 out of 10. Wonderful story. Fantastic characters. But I'll probably not play it again anytime soon because it really takes a toll on you psychologically. And I'm not a wuss when it comes to Dark Eroge, I think. Unfortunately, Fraternity never got an English translation, and that really disappoints me because Euphoria is good and Maggot Bates is good, but I think Fraternity is just my favorite. I really wish it would get a chance in the English-speaking community. Yeah, Elo, rest up. Stay in bed and rest up, okay? That is your job. That is my order to you, is to rest up and to stay in bed. Of course, you may want to stay in bed for other reasons. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is Gore Screaming Joe. Now, Gore Screaming Joe is very famous for the main character who is, of course, named Gore. And Gore is a sort of otherworldly, inhuman creature like Cthulhu or some sort of elder god. He is not bound by the rules of reality. He is this creature I can't even describe, like the face of a really ugly puppet and like a body that's completely shrouded in a cloak and these long claws, these really long claws on his hands. Oh, he's terrifying. He has such an unique voice. I have never ever heard a voice as unique as Gore from Gore Screaming Show. No. Euphoria is not my favorite, actually. Fraternity is my favorite. Euphoria is very, very good, though. One of my favorites. Karine's prison. Huh, is that in English? I'll have to check it out. I know I haven't heard of it, but I'll have to check it out. Where was I? Oh yeah, so. Gore is this inhuman monster who stalks the protagonist, Kohei, and these three girls who are the main love interest, Akane, Aoi, and Kika. Now, I may be a little fuzzy on the details because it's been a very, very long time since I played this. Yeah, Gore in Gore's Screaming Show is sort of like an elder god. He is not bound by the rules of reality. He can shapeshift, he likes to eat people, he can pretty much do whatever the heck he wants. And Gore is the faithful servant of Yuka. Yuka-chan is this mysterious girl who seeks to wreak havoc on the protagonist and any other girl with him. She is very jealous and very destructive. She will not stop at anything in order to murder the other girls who get in her way. And of course, being Black Psyche, the way she takes her revenge is very creative. Lots of, tentacles? Lots of that sort of thing. And blood and things like that. I can't get into it too much. I don't want to get into too many of the gory details. Oh, it's an RPG? Huh. I'll check it out then. It's on Steam, huh? I'll check it out. Thank you. Thank you very much for the recommendation. So, together, Yuka and Gore team up to want to get rid of all the girls around the protagonist. And it is so wonderful. This was one of the first really satisfying eroge I ever played because it had a multi-route mystery. It had a secret route, which I won't spoil. It had 2 secret routes, in fact. It had a true ending and a secret route. They're 2 separate things. Yuka had a route along with the 3 love interests, and there's a secret route who I won't talk about. There's also... Let's see. There's so many twists and turns to this eroge. It really is a suspenseful mystery. It truly is a riddle to figure it out. All the clues, when they come together, it is so satisfying to figure out all of these little hints and where they lead. Yeah, highly recommended. If you have ever watched The Ring or Ringu, or if you've ever read the books, it's heavily inspired by The Ring. If you know The Ring, you'll know there is the very famous scene with the well, that this girl is thrown down a well. Personally, I saw The Ring once, because I saw it when I was little, and it really scared me. I still can't watch it because it's still really frightening to me. Something about a live-action movie is so much more scarier to me than an eroge or drawings, to me at least. But if you're familiar with The Ring, you'll probably pick up on a couple of twists in Gore's Screaming Show. There's quite a few references to The Ring in Gore's Screaming Show. So please check it out. It's a pretty old eroge at this point. It's pretty old at this point. I think it's compatible with Windows 8 or 7. It's pretty darn old, but I highly recommend it. What happens if you don't solve the mystery? There are so many bad endings. There's more bad endings than good endings. There's like at least 10 bad endings, if I'm remembering right, and all of them end in a lot of non-con and gore and death and murder. Very graphic torture and all that sort of stuff. They really do not shy away. I think the scenario writer is Banya Izumi, and he wrote Extravaganza, and pretty much all of the golden age of Black Psychodoge he wrote. So yes, if you don't solve the mystery, you're in for many bad endings. So many bad endings. Even on the true route, there are bad endings. I believe so. Oh, sorry. Oh, am I feeling good? Yeah, thank you very much. I'm actually doing okay. Oh wait, I forgot. Not that I really need your concern or anything, Hilo. But I'm actually feeling better. I'm just sort of, I get sick very easily. But no worries, I'm vaccinated and I'm boosted, so I'm okay. So don't worry about me. You just focus on yourself and getting better. Because, how are you ever going to serve me well in any capacity if you're not doing better? Alright. Oh, by the way, do you like my new background and my new outfit? I figured this was appropriately villainous. Next up, we're going to be talking about Mugen Kairo 2. Now, for a little bit of background, as I said, it is about an orphan named Taro who has no memories of his previous life. He wakes up in this mansion, naked and alone and afraid. And the mistress of the mansion takes him in, gives him a name, and gives him a dog collar. You heard that right. So Taro spends his days as the servant, oh, hold on. Sorry, I got a notification. But yeah, so Taro spends his time as the servant in this big mansion of older women. Well, there's one loli, but the rest is older women. And of course, depending on which one you go with, their idea of taking care of Taro varies immensely. You have one girl. It's been so long I don't remember their names. There's this one girl with blonde hair, and she is the nicest to Taro, and she still feeds him really gross stuff like dog kibble and moldy fish and like condoms and like stuff like that, and she spits in his food, and she's the nicest one, and she forces him to get down on all fours to eat kibble out of a dog bowl. That's what he eats. So, considering that she's the nicest one, I think that's a good standard to tell you how nice everybody else is, which is not very nice. There's also a more masculine girl who is a maid named Hana. She has red hair, and she is very, very dominant. Lots of femdom in her root. She really hates Taro because she feels that he is taking away all of the attention from one of the mistresses that she's in love with. So she takes her revenge out on his body. And then, there's the loli, who's very precocious and very mischievous, and of course her root has a lot of play, a lot of age play and that sort of thing. Taking childish games and making it more perverse and more twisted than you could imagine. There's a few other. There's the mistress, of course, of the mansion. And as you go on, there's a bit of a time loop. Time keeps repeating itself between black days and red days, and you have to solve the mystery of how, number one, how come the time is repeating itself? What happened to Taro's memories? Why can't he leave the mansion? That sort of thing. Anyway, if there is ever a black site game to get translated, I would want it to be Mugen Kairo and Mugen Kairo 2. I know Sadistic Blood recently got translated by Just USA, which I'm happy about, because I'm really happy we have a black site game being translated. But I have not played it yet. I'm really, really looking forward to it if I'm able to play it. We'll see if it's available or not still. But maybe I can play something like that for my birthday stream? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, if only I treated you like that? How do you want to be treated, Hilo? You want like safety pins stuck in your skin? That's exactly how one of the things happened. One of the events. Like poor Taro gets a bunch of sewing needles and stuff stuck through his skin. It's really, really horrendous if you're squeamish about needles like I am. And of course, there's lots of things that are not very family friendly to talk about. Aside from the dog food eating and the needles and stuff. Plenty more. But basically, the second one picks up where the first one did with a new maid named Shiro. And Shiro is similar to Taro in that she has no memories and that she's very quiet and obedient. She listens to anything her mistresses want her to do. Which also gives it a bit of a Yuri vibe now that there's a female servant as well as a male servant. And this is the most interesting. Some of the mistresses and maids from the first game have switched places. One of the maids from the previous game is now a mistress. So that really gets you thinking on the hierarchy. Well, there are lots of reasons why it couldn't be translated yet. It could be the cost. Number one, it could be the cost of licensing such a game. You know, lots of people want the Fate Stay Night series to be translated, but it's never been picked up officially because it's just too darn expensive. The licensing costs are too high. So for Black Psych, I think number one, these are very old games. They're most compatible on Windows 7 or 8. They're not Windows 10 compatible. So number one, you would have to do a remaster of it. You would have to pay the licensing fees. You would have to... Just USA would probably censor anything they don't like, which is what happened with Starless. I'm still mad about that. They licensed Starless, and then they cut out all of the... Wait, you have been cheated and lied to? Huh? What do you mean cheated and lied to? Are you lying to me, Crypto?
Are you lying to me, Crypto? If you're lying to me, you'll regret it.
Hey, noxious greed! How dare you! I'm gonna step on you! You're gonna go in that cage right behind me, okay? So watch out! Anyway, so for Mugen Kairo 2, it's basically sort of picking up the mystery of where the first one left off, and I highly, highly recommend it. It is so confusing. It is so metaphysical. You have like time loops and gender change and species change and all sorts of things and hierarchy and mysteries and horror and breaking the fourth wall and so many things. Role reversal, femdom, maledom, so many things. It is so confusing, which is why I really, really wish it would get a translation. But because it's so old, I don't think it'll get one. But I hope they do. Are you listening, Jest? Please pick up Mugen Kairo and Mugen Kairo 2. Group gasp! With your support, we will send the hammer of the people's will crashing through the windows. Hey! You wreck my windows? I'm gonna smack you! I don't have a smacking function. I don't have a smacking function, but I'm putting my fists up, so you know I mean business. If you're not good, I'm gonna punish you and you're gonna go right in that cage, okay? Look here, look very closely. Crypto, that's you. You're this guy right here. Elo, that's you too, okay? Now you're both in the cage, so shut up and listen. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to be so mean. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that mean. Anyway, Mugen Kairo 2 is really top-notch. One of my favorite Black Site games for reasons. I don't know why on earth this could be one of my favorite games. Certainly not because it has lots of femdom and lesbian roots and lots of good degradation scenes. If you look at the CG, Shiro is saying, "Okishama, arigato. Ojo-shama, arigato." So she's thanking them. She's thanking her mistresses while she is eating this disgusting, gross food. It looks like dog kibble with like fish bones and like a used condom and like a sock. Really gross. But anyway, highly recommend Mugen Kairo and Mugen Kairo 2. Again, very dark, along with most of Black Site games. I really, really miss the Black Site games as they used to be, you know? Yami no Koi was like the first corruption game I ever played. It's about this family, not this family, but this like research group, like an older woman, her husband, a shy girl, and a sort of outgoing girl, and a young boy. And they're all brought together to this island. And of course, the longer they stay on this island, the more corrupted they get. They can be more submissive or more dominant. Yami no Koi really was a classic. It had like 5 games in the whole series. And then Black Psych released a sequel called Sayoko. And unfortunately, I never got around to playing that. But Yami no Koi is just genre defining. And same with Girl Screaming Show, same with Gun Katana, same with Mugen Kairo. I think I really like Before Dawn Daybreak too, although that was sort of not well received compared to their other ones. Extravaganza, of course, is the tentacle game if you're into tentacle stuff. It is very, very gruesome. Oh boy. Ask Elo, he'll know about it. Don't feed us gross shit. Oh, whoops. Look what you did! Look what you did! You made me swear. You sullied my tongue. My pure and pristine tongue. You sullied it with your curse words. How dare you? How dare you? You're gonna go in the cage for even longer than Crypto at this point. Oh, hi, Alonzo. Nice for you to come join us again. You're saved? What does that mean, you're saved? Does that mean you don't like being under my regime? Answer me. Anyway, so next is Euphoria and Fraternity. Fraternity came directly after Euphoria. And Euphoria was first released in 2011, I think. No, YouTube, don't you dare! Don't you dare call YouTube on me! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Anyway, I think Euphoria was released in 2011. It was the first really serious game released by Clockup. I know they've released darker games, but this is the first one that really had an interesting plot. It was very... It really wasn't just a fest of non-con, you know? It wasn't just like a rape fest. It was very intellectual and very... It had a real mystery to it, a real sense of suspense. I really want an English copy of Euphoria. I have not been able to get my hands on an English copy of it yet, and I hope it doesn't sell out or anything. If the license expires before I get to play it, I'm gonna be really mad. What ew? What ew? Huh? Huh? Are you calling me disgusting? How dare you? You're the one who's disgusting. Memento Mori? There are more of you? No, they're not. I outnumber you. It's me and my cage over here. So I outnumber you. Anyway, Fraternity is just, as I said, it's one of my favorites. It is way darker than Euphoria. It is the darkest eroge I've ever played. Maybe next to Extravaganza. Probably the darkest one. I know it's not Black Psych, but another company recently released a new eroge called Bad and Aegis. Bad and Aegis is very much in the vein of those classic Black Psych games. Same scenario writer, same illustrator as like Gun Katana and Gore Screaming Show. I'm so excited. It looks like a real return to form, even if it isn't under the Black Psych name. Asanagi? Is that the one by Black Lilith? Is that like the demon exterminating series? I have not played it, but I think I know of it. It sounds vaguely familiar. I don't know. The happy ending? I don't think so. Are you talking about the true ending? No spoilers? Not talking about the true ending in any detail, but I thought it was very lighthearted. I thought it was practically fluffy, you know? Euphoria didn't strike me as very dark, except for like the few bad endings. The bad endings, of course, is where all of the blood and the gore is contained. But the character roots and the true root endings I thought were just fine. They didn't strike me as very dark. Oh wait, is Asanagi... I'm confused. Is Asanagi the eroge company or the eroge title? Is that like the Tinkerbell games with all the tentacles? Or no, that's something different. You're confusing me. I don't know. Anti-sea bear? I'm not a sea bear. I'm a land bear. I'm a normal bear. I think I know which one you're talking about. I still don't think it's very dark. Asanagi, I still don't know which one that is. Is that the company? Or is that a game? I don't... Yeah, it's okay. You can tell me later. Fraternity is much more realistic than Euphoria, whereas Euphoria is more of a death game, battle royale, Saw sort of thing. Fraternity is based firmly, well, not very firmly, but more in reality than Euphoria. It is around an older sister in this family of a mother and father who are not there, they're absent. An older sister, a younger sister, and a middle child who is the protagonist. He is the middle brother. The middle brother starts to notice one day his older sister is raped, and she becomes a shut-in. It's very realistically tackled, so if you're sensitive to those subjects, please don't play it. But it's about this victim girls. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I've seen his work, but I haven't really sat down and read any of it. Yeah, it got sold out. When I tried to get a copy, it got sold out, so I haven't gotten to read it yet. Okay. Alright. Well, I'll have to read it when I get the chance. Thanks for the recommendation. Not that I need your disgusting taste or your worthless opinions on anything. Anyway, so the older sister becomes a shut-in as a result of such horrible trauma, and she starts, contemplating suicide, and she is not very healthy at all. And eventually she goes back to school, and she becomes part of a club called, the Friendship Club. And of course, it is not a very good friendship club. It is actually a cover for a cult. And it's like a sex cult, where they're sort of trained and brainwashed against their will, mind broken through drugs and sex, and eventually they're either murdered or they commit suicide or they willingly offer themselves to be murdered. And it's really, really horrendous, my gosh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Fraternity really did a number on me. I had anxiety for months after I played it. And eroge usually never does that to me. But if you want a really haunting experience with amazing characters, a flawlessly written story, and the saddest ending ever, do play Fraternity. There is a remastered version, but the remastered version cut out quite a bit of the gore. And what's even the point of that then? I'm going to take a minute to get a drink of water, so hold on a moment, okay? And we're back. No, Taimanin Asagi. No, I haven't played it, and I know there's an anime of it, but I haven't played it, frankly, because I don't know where to begin. There's so many installments of it, I just don't know where to even start. Who is Ingrid? Is that Is that the loli with the black hair and the twin tails who has like a tan? Huh. I'm sorry, I don't know any of these characters. Crypto? Crypto? Are you cheating on me? Huh? Are you looking at other girls? If you're looking at other girls... Oh, you can't even stand the voice actresses? That's very cruel, Crypto. Those actresses pour their heart and soul into making a good anime for you to like, and all you have to do is mute it? That's so ungrateful. And I thought I was mean. You humans. You think you can get away with anything. Fight me? I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight you. Yeah, I'm gonna fight you. You insult the good voice actresses of hentai and eroge? They work really, really hard, you know? Alright, I can't keep up with the conversation. I don't know who these people are. But I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. A lot of the other really good clock-up games would be Love and Cutthroat. I believe it is. It recently got a sequel. I know I recently got an eroge with... What was her name? Ruby-sama. If you're familiar with Ruby-sama, she is an eroge artist who does... She does occasional yurige. Mostly she does a lot of het dojinshi. Mostly a lot of non-con and that sort of thing. She has such a wonderful use of colors. Let me see if I can bring up any of her artwork for you guys. Hold on a moment, okay? I'm going to try and bring up some artwork by Ruby-sama. She recently has a art book that was titled In the Cage. Oh wait, here it is. Manakashi no yuri wa akaku somaru. In public? Why on earth are you watching hentai in public? Don't be disgusting. Ew. I'm shaming. How dare you? That's so, Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so behind on chat. Oh, hold on a minute. You know, you guys know every time you swear, chat holds it, right? And that means I have to manually go in and fix the chat every time you guys swear. So no swearing. One of Ruby-sama's favorite eroge, at least one of my favorite eroge by her, is a yurige. Can you see it? Here it is. And it's about this dark-haired girl who is actually in love with the silver-haired girl. She wants to sort of dominate and take control of the silver-haired girl, who is very shy and very uncertain because, of course, you know, the whole homosexuality taboo. The silver hair is the sub, and the black hair is the dom. And, of course, it ends with a variety of very bad scenes. You guys have been swearing in the chat. Every time you guys swear, I have to manually go through the chat. No. Are you guys trying to make me swear? I'm not gonna swear. I swear to kick you out of chat if this keeps up. Okay, how's that? Ah! Elo! Okay, you know what? You are really trying my patience, Elo. Get in the cage, Elo. Get in the cage right now. You know what? This guy, hold on. This guy is you. You're getting further back into the cage, okay? You gotta behave. You just swore. No, I do not forgive you. I do not forgive you. Why should I forgive a bunch of selfish, piggish humans? You're not a very good pet. If you're a good pet, then you listen to what your mistress has to say. このひもいどりかん、このブータ野郎、 この変態なオタクめ。死ねばいいのに。ふんだ。Yeah, that is you, Crypto. You're the guy in the middle, so behave. Every time you guys swear or say something inappropriate, Elo, you're going back in the cage. Anyway, Ruby-sama really does some amazing works. Mostly she does heterosexual ones. Yes, the C word is a bad word. It is a bad word. At least, it's not something that you just drop out of nowhere. On Twitter that's one thing, but maybe don't do that on a stream, you know? I have no way of responding to that, so, rein in your language a little bit, okay? Anyway, for Arubi-sama's first foray into Yuri, it's really an excellent game. Lots of bad ends. There's a scene where this one girl, in order to prove her love to the other one, she surgically removes her uterus and then gives it to the other girl as a show of love. But no anesthetic. That is a cool ending. Of course, there are endings where someone dies and someone's murdered, and then you just keep their lifeless corpse in their house and pretend to marry it and all sorts of things. Just normal Yuri stuff. It's okay, as long as you understand. I'll be generous and forgive you this time. Don't swear in any language. I mean, you can, but just don't say the C word. That's a little much for my innocent heart to handle. My precious heart. I can't take so much strain on it. But anyway, this is not an eroge stream, this is a sadistic stream. Yeah, exactly. Here, have a uterus. That's pretty much exactly how the scene went. I can't find the CG. Maybe I can find the CG. But actually, even if I did find it, YouTube wouldn't let me show it. So, none of that. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, because I would want to inflict that on you. Because why on earth are you looking at other girls' uteruses? Huh? How dare you? I was gonna say the only uterus you should be looking at is mine, but that's not true. Don't look at that. Crap. YouTube, don't ban me. YouTube, it's their fault. It's chat's fault. I swear. No, not cabbage. Not cabbage. Although I don't like cabbage, honestly. It's gross. Got this horrible texture. It's like the bad flavor of lettuce with this gross, heavy texture. Even thicker lettuce. It's thick lettuce. That's even worse than normal lettuce. Elo? Crypto? Who else is in chat? Who of my other servants remain? Crypto? You're gonna go in the cage. Let's see, Crypto, Memento Mori, Elo. Who else is here? Kevin and Alonzo. Aw, my faithful servants, thank you very much for hanging in so far. But if you keep talking about other girls in chat and your hentai preferences, I'm just gonna leave you in the basement. We're never gonna leave this dungeon. Every single stream is gonna be in this dungeon. No, I don't like cabbage. I don't like lettuce or cilantro or parsley. It tastes like soap. But anyway, my loyal chat, tell me, why should I be so forgiving if you're constantly talking about hentai? Yes, Crypto! I mean, you can say it, but like, that's not on topic. That's not on topic. We're not talking about that. We're talking about all of you swearing your loyalty to me. This is a back and forth. And besides, I don't talk about like how I like Boku no Pico or something. Not that I know what that is. Or anything. The rave dungeon? Yeah. Oh, just imagine if all of my streams from here on out are just like stuck, just stuck in the dungeon. Or like we're never in the bedroom again. We're just stuck here forever. That would get a little boring. Yeah. Cilantro, it does taste like soap. Same thing with like parsley. It just, Sit on you? Why would I dirty my bottom? Huh? Ah, Hilo, gosh.
Don't be disgusting, Hilo. And Crypto, I told you to submit.
Hi. In SpongeBob's voice. You guys are so silly. Gosh. Well, if you showed up to the stream at all, you must be a gormless, spineless, ikujinashi spectator. You must be a spineless voyeur if you're here in the stream at all, huh? Hey. I do talk about those games, but I don't go into any great detail, okay? This channel is family friendly, alright? Although, what I will do to you if you're not nice is not very family friendly. I'm gonna ban you from chat. Yeah, that's the worst thing I can possibly think of. Also what? Do you have something to say? Why should I be expected to listen to someone like you? Huh? Oh. I'm only here to incite a revolution, Crypto.
Are you being a bad boy?
Are you? Are you being bad? If you're misbehaving, you know, I'm gonna smack you and send you out of chat. You're gonna go in timeout. You're gonna go in the cage. You're gonna go in the Kimoi Dorikan cage. In the gross Dorikan cage. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Chat, you really are shameless. You're shameless. You are no better than an animal who ruts during mating season. Isn't that horrible? Don't you feel ashamed of yourself? You come into my pure, heavenly, maidenly chat, and you talk about, Tinkerbell and Amagi, whatever that series was, and internal views, You sully my stream with your very presence. And I have been patient long enough, you know? I have been very, very patient. I have been as patient as I could be. Sadly, I don't have any implements with me, but there are chains on the walls. There are chains on the walls, so that's good. Shut up, Elo. I didn't mean that! I'm sorry! I didn't mean that! I'm not used to being mean! I'm sorry! I'm not used to being mean! I don't want to be mean! Pure? Hey, that's true, I am pure. I am very pure. Ignore the outfit. I am pure. You're mammals. You're humans. I'm a bear. And you know what bears eat, don't you? Don't say honey. Bears don't eat honey, they don't eat sugar, or they don't eat fruit. We eat people. Gao gao. 食べちゃうよ。
本当に食べるよ。いい子にしないで。いい子にしなくたら食べちゃうよ。
Well, of course you would compliment me. I am deserving of all the praise and all the compliments. Oh, if there's a lag or anything, please let me know. Because if there is a lag, then I can mess with the resolution a little bit. But I turned the frame rate way down, so it should be okay. I am a brown bear, clearly. Stupid. Dummy. Baka. I'm a brown bear. Can't you see my ears and my hair? I am brown. Brown bear. See? Brown bear. Polar bear? Do I look like a polar bear to you? Of course I'm not a polar bear. I can't stand cold temperatures. Crypto, get in the cage. Shut up and get in the cage. Yeah. I'm not a black bear, I said. I am a brown bear. So my knowledge of black bears isn't very good. I said brown bear. You know, brown bears are actually good. You know, they're the ones who don't attack humans unprovoked. Except that all of you are doing a very good job of provoking me. I'm going to take a short little water break, so I'll be back in a minute or two. Alright? You better be here when I get back, or I'll eat you. 本当に食べちゃうよ。